Hello everyone and welcome to Wonderling DX, a game that has been in my radar for a long time, but I hadn't enough time to actually make this review video. And now I'm here, alright, so it's a game that is made by Bitwave Games. If you need to look for those developers, I will be linking everything in the description below, including the link for the game so you can actually play it by yourself. Bitwave Games are Swedish indie game studio. For anyone who wants to know, they are the creators of both Wunderling, this game, and another game called Pick 2 Party. Now I must say I had an amazing time with this platforming game. It's a platformer non-stop puzzle game, and by non-stop we mean that the movement of the character is non-stop. You can't actually control him at all, and this is the fun part and the most unique part of this game, because honestly I haven't played such a game in all of my life. I haven't played a similar game to this one at all. For you to know, the game has 9 different languages, which is too much and a lot of work from the developers, meaning that they are making a lot of effort into this game. It is said that it's better played with gamepad or controller, but I honestly play this with keyboard and mouse, and man, it's definitely hard. It's definitely one of the hardest games ever there. So you might be wondering how you start the game. You start the game with a carrot. It's like an introduction. That carrot will be later on replaced easily and fast. You do start in the world of Walkabout Weeds. It's a world where the game starts by introducing there is a potato man who moves automatically across the map, which is hence the feature that I have just explained earlier before, which is a non-stop puzzle platformer. The carrot that you are going to play with it for a while is looking for his Princess Pea, and that's the whole main story about and the objective of this game. You will have so many funny moments across the entire progress of the story and the dialogues. Also, you do have a lot of chests with collectibles to have, because this is a puzzle game again, but it does give you that kind of collection shiny items that you have to look for it. And for those who wants to have 100% chance or 100% achievements completion, this is a good game for you, man. I'm telling you, this is a great game. As you play in the game, you will realize that your character, when reaching to a certain point, like for the example the walls, he will bounce from it and look to the other direction and keep walking and continue this walk whenever possible until you reach to another end, and then you will direct your walk into the other side. You will have to jump in a certain movement and in a certain pace. How you're going to maintain your health throughout the game is that this potato man that you are going to play with has like a health bar which reduces down over time. You don't actually see it until you will have a heart showing that you are almost going to die, and you will have to collect these flower buds. This is the only way to survive, because if you don't, with time you will die. For a second there, when I was playing the game, I actually had some kind of Super Mario vibes, and it actually is very good because you will have a lot of references to Super Mario, and it's a very good thing to have in a game, because throughout my entire life when testing games like this, I find that the most, like, let's say, successful games are the ones who have that kind of influence or impact, and they take some kind of references from very famous and successful games. This is the way you make your game a better known game. Some of the secrets that I have found when playing the game are cassettes. They tell a story throughout the cow and everything. Other gates, these gates will give you an extra an extra level to go through, an extra, like, it's very addictive once you actually play put a lot of time into this. I think I played for like almost 12 or 15 hours so far, but I still plan to play even more to have all the collectibles there. Of course, as you progress in the game, things will get better, and there will be more things introduced from features, skills, into, like, for example, in this world you will have some keys to unlock doors that are locked by keys, and those keys are colorful. and each door has its own key to unlock. And this is the beauty of the game, because it constantly gives you and introduces you new features and new things to engage in. That's the beauty of this game. Of course, you can restart any level in order to have the completion of the flower buds, because once you collect those flowers the first time, even if you die in the game or even if you fail, you don't have to collect them if you restart the level. However, for the collectibles, you do have to collect and get those collectibles and reach to the very end of that level in order to achieve that collectible. Otherwise, it will not be counted. For the flowers, it's okay. Directly after finishing Walkabout's Weed's World, the first world, you will have your first boss fight. And that's a very beautiful boss fight, man. I liked it. I liked the way the boss fight was introduced into the game. And it was a little bit hard for me to get used to the old controlling and how the mechanics work. But once I get that, man, the other worlds were amazing to play. Moving on to the second world, Rockrose Riviera. This is a world where you will have your first cool ability, which is the boost. It doesn't work actually in mid-air, so you have to be careful, and you have to make the jump or the boost just before you jump, and it's very beneficial. Like I said, the more you progress in the game, the harder it becomes. Speaking of harder, there will be like speedy pink tiles. These tiles are there sometimes to help you and sometimes to actually put you in a very critical and dangerous position, and you have to be very fast in your own reflexes, that you have to jump in a certain way to not hit those spikes. Not only that, but sometimes you will have tiles that will be destroyed as you pass through them or as you walk up above them. Those tiles will eventually get destroyed, so you have to be careful where to put your legs at, you know. Your feet are something very strong. Again, there are doors will be unlocked with keys, and other doors will be unlocked with buttons, and that's completely different, and you can't get actually back through those doors because there is only one direction. They are one-directed doors. One might actually wonder how you're going to get through an entire level, because the levels will become longer without actually dying, because it's very hard. Well, the game introduces you checkpoints, which is very beneficial and very helpful for me. When I was playing the game, I was hoping for checkpoints. When I got it, I was very happy actually. And you will have some spitting things also going on. What's more crazy is that you have a crazy flying wings, and this will be introduced to you. How to explain it is you simply have to keep jumping, like it's like keep flying, but once you touch the floor, the wings will be disappeared. Of course, this is directed to your own first original direction that you are heading to. You don't actually turn around if you hit the wall with your wings while you are flying. You have to actually get rid of them in order to move around in the game. Another useful feature, at first I thought it's actually like a curse, but it was a blessing, because it depends on where the game is putting such things. It's the honey ball gravity, that once you get inside, you will be like, as you say, you will be dragged down, and you will have a limited time. If you are on a tile that is destroyed, you have a limited time before you fall down in spikes or whatever. How to break free from these honey balls is simply using your boost ability. Moving on to the third world, which is Dilly Dally Desert World. It's a weird name, I know, but hear me out. Here the game gets harder with door buttons. Before there was doors with keys, with colorful keys, each door having its own unique keys, but right now we have doors with buttons. This is the most hardest one, because those doors are one-directed doors, meaning that you cannot go back because it's only one way. It's only one-way door. It doesn't allow you to get back. You will also have some ice levels. It's worth mentioning that sometimes you will have ice levels with sands levels as well. With the ice levels, there are certain platforms that you can't get through, like you can't control your jumping because it's an icy, like it's an icy platform, so you will be, it's a slippery platform. So as you enter to the 4th level or 4th world, you will have the camel boss fight. It's a very interesting and weird, strange boss fight. Like I said, the game is funny, so it's made in a weird way as well. The 4th world will be Compost Creek. You will have something very interesting out of Assassin's Creed games, man. It's called wall jumps. I was like, man, I am speechless right now. Like wall jumps in a game, in a platforming game, that's beautiful, man. What's even more interesting, you will have volcano levels or volcano like places, and your feet once touch those volcano, it will be like, it's like the speeding pink tiles, but in a twisted way, and that's very, very, very unique and creative from the developers. So Bitwaves, man, Bitwave Games, you have done a great job with this one. Of course, all the previous features, skills, and like level platforms, all of them are twisted and being mixed together to create more levels. As you go through each new world, you will have new things. They will be mixed with the old ones. Don't ever forget that, or don't think that you will have only the new ones and the old ones will be disappeared. No, you will have all of them mixed together in order to have the best gaming or the best gameplay experience. Moving on to the 5th world, which is Format Factory World. It's actually a great word because it was because it does introduce to you something very hard. Just after you have been introduced to the wall jumps, you will have the slippery walls, which you can't jump from those slippery walls. It's actually a very balancing game that gives you a lot of stuff. And with that obstacle, you do have something very good, which is teleporting gates. That's man, I don't know how you guys, like the developers, I don't know how they think about this. These are very creative, like puzzles and tricky puzzles. I don't know how they do that, man. Well done. Well, as you progress to the 6th world, you will have your boss fights. I think your final boss fight. There are 3, if I'm not mistaken, or 4. It's called Tech Mech, and it's very related to the 19s because there is references to the 19s battle style. And there is something even more interesting in the game, that some dialogues will be even mentioning Elon Musk. Man, I wasn't even sure about this. But yeah, as you progress in Heribaria Heights, the world, or the 6th world, you will have the dashing ability. The dashing ability allows you to go through certain walls, like the destroyed break or the distractable breaks walls. This is a helpful feature and skill because later on you can use that to dash into mid-air in order to reduce the gap between you and the other platform. Even when you use the boost ability, which you can mix between the boost ability, you jump, and then you use that the dashing ability in order to get to a safe place. Something else that have been introduced in the game in the 6th world is the clouds boosters. It's a little bit hard to control because the cloud boosters tend to push you either down or up depending on where you're trying to press the certain buttons, either up or down, and the clouds will boost you there. So be careful about when you use them, and they are mostly used when you are having your wings when you are flying, because I don't see the way this happens when you are on the ground. Everything will be mixed even more when you get to the World 7 and World 8. In World 7 you have Dominic Tiablimi. I don't know how to pronounce these. The last word, I think the last word called Factal or Fateful Finale, whatever it is, it's a very good level. Because by the final words we will have two endings actually, the downbeat ending and the upbeat ending. The downbeat ending is the witch will win, and the upbeat ending will Rabi will win. In the downbeat ending, which is the most common ending in the story, like his girl, the character or whatever, his girl not wanting him anymore. And that's a plot twist for you, because the minions made by her, those potato, your character, your main character, was made by the girl. So there is a very twisted plot by the end of this Princess Pea, but there is a huge and big difference by the end of the game. Of course, you will have extra things to do. Once you collect the entire collectibles, you will have the ability to get what is called like messages or whatever they are, and these are the ones that actually make and unlock for you the other ending, which is the upbeat ending. And this is after you collect some diary pages. Once you collect them, you can actually read them for more story, let's say, reflection on the game. But I find this one of the most amazing games ever been made for a platformer like this, and looking forward for Bitwave games. I will always follow Bitwave games in order to get to the latest news about their creation of games, either this one or other new games, because I'm looking forward for this. Honestly, these developers have made an amazing job with this amazing game, and like I said, the links in the description below. You can try and get the game for yourself and have it there by yourself and try it. For those who don't know, the game is priced at $14.99.